Welcome, caring viewers, to Animal World, our co-inhabitants. Today we feature an interview with Jill Gasparak, the vegan co-founder and director of Animals, People, and Environment, or APE Action, a nonprofit organization that lives by the motto, "Compassion is our soul, education is our mission." Established in 2007, the California, USA-based group informs the public about the need to respect our animal co-inhabitants and our planet.
I started off in animal rescue, and I realized that there's so many animal rescues out there, and a main portion of the problem is that there's not enough education. People don't understand that you have to spay and neuter your pet. They don't understand that the dog can be trained. It doesn't need to be thrown in the shelter if it's having an issue. So from there, we kind of snowballed and said we really want to work on education, and we didn't want to just work in animal rescue. So we kind of wanted to do what we were passionate about, which is just making the world a better place. So working with animals, people, and the environment is where it kind of unfolded. We want people to be more compassionate in what they do. And compassion to animals helps make the world a better place. If you have compassion for animals, you might choose not to eat animals, and that's going to help the environment. Mm-hmm. Your choices determine how our world is going to be, in the long run, basically. Yeah. Children, they kind of soak it up, and they're like, oh, that's in a hot dog? We don't want to eat that. So it's a place where we want to start with kids, teaching them to be compassionate to animals and compassionate to themselves. Think about what you're putting in your body.
APE Action volunteers visit local schools and use documentaries, music, and books to help children understand the significance of their dietary choices.
There's a great book by Ruby Roth called That's Why We Don't Eat Animals. And we read this to the children and make them understand that their choices, what they can do today, is help the animals, help the environment, and help their bodies, help themselves. The book is really good. It talks about factory farming. It talks about the bond that the mother cow has with, the baby cow. So all of that kind of helps them learn and understand that animals have feelings too, and they need to be treated humanely. They have a dog at home, but they don't really think about what's on their plate. They don't think that the cow loves her calf. They don't get that portion of it sometimes, but when they do, it's like an eye-opener. They're like, whoa, like that poor baby, that poor mommy. They don't want that to happen. I've had kids at 11 years old say, I don't want to eat that anymore. And they ask their mom not to. And, depends on the household, depends on the parents and everything too, how that goes.
In addition to teaching school children about compassion for animals, APE Action also runs Sammy's Place, a sanctuary in California, USA that specializes in rescuing older dogs. Currently, there are 19 canine residents at this place of love.
I was seeing so many dogs being put in the shelter that were old, and basically they gave their whole life to this family, and the family at the end puts it in the shelter to let it die. So that's where Sammy's Place came about, wanting to find a place where the dogs can come, be loved, be taken care of, so they get a good quality towards the end of their life. It was named after Sammy. Sammy passed away about a year ago, and he was a dog that I pulled out of the shelter when he was 9. He would have been about 18 when he died. He was just the best dog. I used him for testing with all of my other dogs that came in that had issues. Just a balanced dog, and he was a great dog. And just to know that some family had him for 8 years and threw him out, it's really heartbreaking. So when he passed away here, I decided I would rather work on that avenue of just taking an old dog out and leaving him the last day, month, week. Sometimes it turns into a year. You never know.
So you brought out one of your dogs from the sanctuary. You said this is Rudolph?
This is Rudolph, but we call him Rudy. Just named him Rudolph because he was saved on Christmas Eve, and we thought that was kind of an appropriate little holiday name for him.
So can you tell us his story?
He was in Pasadena shelter, and he was listed at 15 years old. So we got him in, and he's doing good. I mean, he's putting on weight, and he had really bad teeth infection. He only had about 6 teeth left, and they all needed to come out. So he just had surgery and got all of his teeth removed. Then after that, bacteria went into his bloodstream from all of that, digging all those teeth out. so he needed another emergency surgery. It's been 3 weeks now. He's doing great. Happy.
Jill Gasparak is also a professional dog trainer, and when she rescues dogs, she trains them thoroughly before placing them in forever loving homes. Next, she tells the story of a recently adopted canine named Saxer.
His name was Saxer, and I had him for at least 3 years. Adorable dog. I mean, he was covered in scars. He had never been on a leash. You couldn't touch him. He was so petrified from everything. And it took him quite a while to kind of get to a place where he's normal in a sense. And he just got adopted like 3 weeks ago, and I had him for 3 years, so he's happy. This is Bella. I found her in Palm Springs in 2002. She was living in a field for about 6 weeks. The dog catchers couldn't catch her out there. I went out there for about 3 days and earned her trust. I would go visit her every day, feed her food at the same time, and I was leaving and I started driving away and said, okay, I'm gonna be back tomorrow because, you're not coming with me yet. And she started crying and running after the car. She didn't want me to leave, so I opened up the door. She slowly came in and put her head on my chest and gave me a hug. She's very smart, so I'll just show you a little bit of her training and see if she'll do some tricks. Bella, heel. Bella, heel. Bella, heel. Come. Bella, halt. Stay. Bella, down. Good girl. Stay. 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 Good girl. Come back up. Bella, come back up. Good girl. Sit. Stay. Bella. Good girl. That's the hand signal for down. If I just put my hand straight up, come back up. Good girl. Bella, come. Sit. Oh, it's a good girl. So she likes it. She likes learning everything. It makes her more confident that she knows what I'm asking her to do.
Now we'll meet Katie, a rescued feral dog who spent her early life surviving on her own.
She's pretty. So I had to trap her too. Couldn't get her to come. She was living by a gas station, crossing 4 lanes of traffic every day to get fed from people coming out of the AM PM. So I trapped her, and I usually give them as much time as they need. I usually don't force them, and I was really busy working with other dogs, and she was just, living here, and it took me about 6 months to actually touch her, and I finally had time to really work with her. And she goes to the city with me. She walks on leash, goes for walks, goes for hikes.
Although the sanctuary specializes in older dogs, Ms. Gasparak sometimes can't resist rescuing puppies, as was the case with Lolly and Lionel, who were being dropped off at an animal shelter.
And then I just felt bad that these two were going to have to go into the shelter. So I took them both, and they are like attached. They're like little buddies. She's super friendly. He's kind of shy, so they take care of each other. They're like puppies, but they're both like a year old now. But these two I want to be adopted together, just because they're so bonded. And so it's making it a little bit harder for them to get adopted, just because most people don't want to take 2 dogs on at the same time. But she's just super lovable. She's just a little chunky thing. They need a great home. They make great pets. And we don't really like to adopt dogs to homes with children under 5, just because we don't want anything, to happen to the dogs with the kids. So they kind of need to be in a home where the kids are a little bit older or mature, so there's no issues with small dogs being with kids.
Sometimes, while waiting for a forever loving home, the rescued dogs are placed in foster homes, and this sometimes has a surprising outcome.
A lot of our foster homes, they end up just keeping the dog. They adopt the dog, which is fine. We just lost a foster home, but we got a dog that got a home, so that's good.
Jill Gasparak and all the other dedicated volunteers at APE Action We applaud your gracious efforts to make our world a better place by helping people, animals, and the environment coexist in greater harmony. You are an inspiration and a guiding light for us all, and we wish you great success in all your future noble endeavors. For more information on animals, people, and environment action, please visit www.apeaction.org. Thank you for your delightful company today on Animal World, Our Co-Inhabitants. May all life on Earth be forever treasured and enjoyed.
For more details, please visit www.suprememastertv.com/AW.